let's talk Labille. Labille. So, it now looks like Labille may be going to Juventus. It's not definite, but there's definitely a possibility here. And look, man, I believe that this is a deal that both parties should make. This is a deal that Man United should make. This is a deal that I believe that Juventus should make, because I think between both of them, I just feel that, look, United getting that cash plus the cash they already have can help rebuild and revamp the entire team. I think once you have Pogba off the books, it just helps to free your team, especially if you have players who you can possibly bring in. Remember, there's the whole Lukaku-Icardi swap. Because again, I mean, if you have another kind of a midfielder like that, it just... Because I know where guys are coming from, because it's like Pogba, such a huge talent. If you have such a talented player, you don't let him go. You add to that talent and you build around that talent. And I think, so in that sense, like, why would you let perhaps arguably the most talented all-round midfield in terms of defending, tackling, passing, shooting, goal scoring, and assisting, why would you let that kind of guy go? But it's one thing of like, and this is what I've always said, all because you have a talented player doesn't mean that he fits your team. So sometimes to ask myself, does Pogba, if you have a plan for moving this team forward next season, does Pogba fit that plan? Forget about him being an amazing player in science. Does he fit the system you want to play? That's the thing. Because Pogba is a very particular kind of player that does fit system. Like, there is no player, I don't think there's any player, or rather, there are very few players who can fit into every single system. No. Obviously, there's some that we criticize who are very systematic and are slaves to a particular system. But most players can be alright in one system and flourish beautifully in another system, just based on how they play. You can't change your characteristic. We're all unique, and that just makes us special as human beings. That we're all unique and we're all special, and we all have a view and an idea of how we want to play football. So that's that thing there. So my thing is Pogba has come out and said that he's looking for a new challenge. And if a guy is saying he's looking for a new challenge, bro, there's not much you can do there. Worst thing you can do, building dressing room morale and so forth, is keeping a player who doesn't want to be there. For Man United, especially with them moving forward, it is vital and paramount that the dressing room is strong. You know, you're hearing Lukaku wants to leave. Pogba said he wants to leave. If you now keep both Pogba and Lukaku there, it messes up team morale, and team morale is vital. It's not an important thing. Team morale is vital to any winning team. So my thing about it is that him going to Juventus, I think for Juventus, 100% it's something they should definitely get, because, and I mentioned this on my live show, Juventus are missing an explosive midfielder. Pjanic is he's the number 10, where he creates, does through balls, plays in the hole. That's his specific position. Chan, Khedira, they're the destroyers. Bentancur, he's the guy that is good on the ball, confident on the ball, distributes. You can rely on him to regulate and just keep things ticking in central midfield. But what they're missing is that explosive midfielder, that midfielder that can score a 30, 40-yard goal, that can do something truly extraordinary in a game, because whenever you're in tight games, you need someone to do something extraordinary. In that game against Ajax, Juventus needed some magic. But what they were hoping for is trying to hold Ajax and just trying to feed Cristiano, hoping that Cristiano would do something. You can't put everything on Cristiano. Everybody has to raise the game. And I think in Juventus, I think Douglas Costa is a bloody amazing player. I think he's super talented. Like, if it's just based on just footballing ability, Douglas Costa is better than Pogba. But it's based on what you can do effective in a game, especially in a tight game. I'm rolling with what Labille can do, because I think Labille has a much wider skill set than what Costa will have. So I think if you have Juventus, if you have Pogba in there, you have a midfield of Pogba, Bentancur, and Pjanic. But the beauty about that is Pogba now has quality that he didn't have at United. Because at United, he has to control the game, because nobody has the quality to control the game. In every midfield, you have to have your controller. You have to. a team can't work if you don't have that guy in midfield who your job is you're rooted at that midfield. It's the job of Arthur for Barcelona. It's the job of Fernandinho for Man City. It's the job of Toni Kroos for Real Madrid. It's the job for Thiago Alcantara for Bayern Munich. It's the job, you could argue, it's the job of Fabinho for Liverpool. It's the job that, even if he plays as a sort of a DM, you could job that the guy that just sort of regulating the midfield and just right in there is him. It's the job of Jorginho for Chelsea. Almost every team needs to have that controller in the midfield for it to work. Pogba can do that. That's not what I want for him. That is not his strongest role. All because he can do that doesn't mean his strongest role. His strongest role is where he's free to. He pops in central midfield. He pops in on the wing. He pops in the number 10 position. He pops in the DM. He runs on the left wing. He now makes the run into the box. That's what he wants. But the key thing is, and Sarri already commented and said, he wants Cristiano to break more records. And he wants to really gain the thing about him. We know that Cristiano is a demonic goal scorer. We know he is. And what I think would be really interesting is forming an understanding between Pogba and Cristiano. So how could that work? Where is the reasoning for? How could that come in? Because I think in Pogba, you have a guy who is very comfortable in the final third. We have a guy who can distribute. We have a guy who can put it across in from deep, can do a little thing pass. We have a guy who is very creative in the kind of balls that he can do. And if Cristiano has a guy who he knows can execute that pass from deep, can make that cross, can make that ingenious, creative pass through, ball through, then Cristiano he's going to eat very well. He's going to eat very well. So Pogba should have never left Juventus. He should have never left Juventus. And we can maybe look into hindsight and say, if Pogba had remained at Juventus, continued to developing, do Juve win a Champions League? Hard to say. But again, you can throw an argument in it because some Juve fans will say Allegri wasn't the right man, that they need a more positive, attacking, offensive-minded coach, which I suppose is where you bring in Sarri. Because again, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. If Pogba was at Juventus last season with Cristiano, do they beat Ajax in that game? If they beat Ajax, do they? If they had beaten Ajax, they would have beaten Tottenham in that semi. And a final with Liverpool, who knows? Who really knows? It would have been a very interesting game. Liverpool against a Liverpool-Juve final where Juve have both Cristiano and Pogba. That would have been a very interesting final. I don't know who wins that final. If Juve had made that final, even with Allegri in there, I don't know who wins that final. Liverpool, I think, would have been favourites. I would have put my money on Liverpool winning based on how good Liverpool are. And also Juve's horrible track record at finals. Allegri's losing too. But who knows? Maybe third time lucky. So I think a Pogba at Juventus, the key thing of this transfer, the real lightning rod of this transfer is we need the pieces in place to win the Champions League. That is Juve's number one priority. Yes, they won 9 in a row. But if they don't do 9 in a row, I don't think they lose any sleep. What Juve have craved so much, what they desire so much, is to win that Champions League. And I think in Pogba, the thing is this, is that you say to yourself that, so Pogba moving to Man United, has he improved? Has this been an improving process? Is Pogba coming back to Juventus an improved player? I'm not sure. I think slightly to a degree, because I think to a degree, yes, because I think the difficulty of the situation of him at Man United, having to play with a bunch of bricks, I think that would have really toughened him up. Having to say, you're now the controller, you're now the leader of the team, would have really toughened him up. Because now coming at Juventus, you don't have to have all that responsibility. This is much more of a team right now, as in the star of the team is Cristiano. So I think that limelight's been taken away from him. I think it's fine, because remember, coming into France, before the World Cup, people would have said, "Oh, he's the star." As the World Cup progressed, that got shifted to Mbappe. Mbappe became the star, and he very much embraced. And I think, so maybe it's a case where I don't think that Pogba is bothered by the responsibility of being the superstar and the star, but I think that it would be, if I was a manager, I think it would be of benefit if you take that whole pressure of being the star and the whole stardom thing away from him. If you were to take that away from him, I think that sort of frees him up, and doesn't put so much weight upon him, and which I think is always an issue if he has that way of like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to perform, blah 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 blah. So yeah, man, that's my 2 cents on that matter there, man. I think Juve make that move because Juve they still need a few more pieces. I still think they need a top striker, a top tier striker. Like if they can get a top tier striker to complement Cristiano, and you bring in Pogba, I think Juve are looking very good. I think Giorgio can give you another goal. I think their defense is all right, although maybe Bonucci needs to be replaced. So I think let's say you replace Bonucci with a De Ligt or so, somewhat. But does De Ligt work in that 3 defense? I don't know. But yeah, I think Pogba, this is a move that he should definitely make, and that's the challenge. This of course was the challenge of United, like can you bring them back? They didn't work out, although you're playing a bunch of bricks. New challenge, get you that Champions League crown. Yo guys, the merch store is here. Click in the description box below to take yourself to the flipping Have a Football Hot clothing store, merch store, man. And you can get yourself a nice little tee like this, man.